Yeah.
Just so angry to see him talk about her death so publicly in such a detailed way, and then to not accept any responsibility after having just described killing her. Hearing him blame Halyna in the interview and shift responsibility to others and seeing him cry about it, I just feel like, are we really supposed to feel bad about you, Mr. Baldwin?
Oh my! Oh my!
Well,
things are getting a little dicey, Hunley.
Alec is making friends as he goes.
Oh my! Things are getting a little awkward.
Oh
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Let me see. A lot went down. Literally last week when we ran this, there's a big Vanity Fair piece that came out at the same time we were doing the show, or that day. And what else? Oh, Alec had a Instagram post.
What else is new?
Of course. And we'll go ahead and we have to look at that. Why? Because
we can make comments over it that are snide comments. People seem to like that.
Exactly. And if I have to suffer watching it, anyone else should too.
Right. Maybe many of our viewers can suffer along at home.
Exactly. That's the whole goal.
Is this the one? Is this the new one?
Yep. This is the one. I'm echoing through your speakers, Mark. Hang on. Let me see. So someday I'm going to get Mark to get in the habit of headphones, but hopefully that took care of it. Trying to mute it out. We'll see if it takes care of the echo. And shall we see what Alec is saying? Now, Alec, I did not boost his volume on it. It's his typical, I'm Alec, I can't say anything, which is annoying, but he's also like breathing and swallowing hard. So if I like blew up the volume, it would give this like mouth noises and things, which would make me go completely nuts. And he is not whining this time. He's very happy. And we need to share in his joy. This is about the anniversary of when he met Hilaria.
Today's the day I met my wife. February 18th, 2011. 11 years ago today. I went with my friend Brendan to the NYU Student Film Festival.
Pick up girls.
And we went out to eat afterward. We went to Pure Food and Wine.
Katz's Deli.
I saw the trailer for Bad Vegan. About Sarma.
Bad Vegan was a serial killer picture.
And I met my wife at Pure Food and Wine on February 18th.
No, okay. He's talking about this beautiful moment where he's covering his face like he's hiding from it, like there's incoming missiles. Or is that just me?
He just looks high as hell. I don't want to say anything, but it looks like he's on benzos, to be honest. Nobody talks like that unless you're on benzos. But, I mean, maybe that's what he needs to get through it, but he seems like he is high as a kite. Go on.
Yeah,
let's see what happens in episode 2.
Okay, here we go. 12 more seconds, or well, 20 seconds.
2011. 11 years ago today. Hard to believe. Anyway. It's quite a story.
That's one of the greatest stories I've ever heard.
No, it's just amazing.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it really was. And he also left this after the interview with Matthew Hutchins, which is kind of a interesting cryptic reply. In Buddhism, being truthful goes beyond simply not telling lies. It means speaking truthfully and honestly, yes, but it also means using speech to benefit others and not to use it to benefit only ourselves.
So what is he saying? I'm a failed Buddhist?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
Well, I mean, the way he treats photographers, I'd say, yeah, he probably is not doing great on that front. I mean,
is he gonna? He's taking Buddhist lessons now. Is that the deal?
Dude, I have no idea.
Boy, he's a gift that keeps on giving.
And yes, I agree, Robin Kelly. Now you understand why I did not amplify the words, because all of his breathing and things like that, it just
I am your father, Hilaria.
He's got a brood. He can say it a lot. I am
your father, all of you 8 children that came out of her phony plastic belly.
Yes. You know, well, that's one way to have somebody literally 5 months apart, or however that worked.
Story gets stranger every week, Hunley. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, look, they got the Vanity Fair piece, which, as we both pointed out, is a puff piece on the lesbian district attorney and her child and wife, I guess, who's a sheriff down there. I'm not really sure. I guess if you're a George Soros woman, progressive district attorney in a blue city, you are considered possibly a rising star in the Democratic Party. Am I right?
Oh, apparently, especially if you can be a minority, but you know.
Right. Well, she's white though. I think
right. You got to check.
The wife is Native American or Mexican. I forget which the wife is, and I assume the kid is adopted. However, that being said, she did not seem in that article to be convinced that Baldwin fired the gun. No.
And I actually got some feedback on that. There's a pull quote from her, and it was interesting. To let you know ahead of time, I did get statements from Seth Kinney.
Oh my.
And okay. Seth may or may not be watching this right now, so if there are super chats that come through or whatever that might have a question, he may or may not answer through a text or something like that. But I do have actually a rather long statement from him.
Does he sell guns, by the way, or is it just a prop house? Can I go there and buy a handgun?
Good question. I'm not sure if he does.
Or, well, maybe he can facilitate it if he's a licensed firearms dealer.
Probably. Okay. I mean, I do. I know he has an FFL for sure.
Right.
I believe in multiple places. I think Arizona, New Mexico. I think he may have it in Nevada and California too, but I'm not sure.
It doesn't do me any good in California because they've limited as you're well aware, the type of guns you could buy here to literally like German Lugers. If you want to get German Lugers,
you cannot. I just found out
guns that I want, I can't buy in California. That's
okay. He will not sell you a gun, Mark.
Why not?
He just won't. Now it might be you.
Oh,
it might be that he won't sell you a gun, but
right.
I don't think that he is selling a gun. Probably best to not sell you one.
Okay. We'll see about that. Get to the bottom of this.
All right. Well, good idea. Okay, so let me see. I have
other guns, Hunley. I don't have to live just through this one gun. What's this now? The article?
No, this is actually the statement from Seth.
Oh, okay.
That's in reply to the article. And I asked him a little bit more too, like I wanted actual clarity about the gun. I've already produced a picture of the gun and showed that, but everybody's flying things around about the revolver. Could this be done? Could this not be done? He pointed out to me that one thing that was put in the article, she did qualify saying, and he has it in here, that they were doing an informal test of a very old type of revolver, not the same exact specific gun necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
And
right. What are you talking about? The DA?
Yes, the DA test.
Yeah. She says that in the article. Yeah. She didn't mention what it was though.
Right. And so he wanted to point that out, and that is a fair point. He's saying that
what is it? It's a single action army revolver. Is that the gun?
That is what Alec Baldwin had. Now, a little bit of trivia on that front. Alec Baldwin had the single action revolver, and remember the word went out that Alec Baldwin wanted the biggest gun. Mm-hmm. And I guess there was some pushback from his camper or whatever saying, no. He didn't necessarily want the biggest gun. However, I have had it confirmed out of all of the guns that went to the set, coincidentally, guess what the largest revolver available was?
This one.
Yep.
Interesting.
So take it however you want. And ID Girl 77, thank you very much.
She's cute. Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, she is.
I like
Thank
her.
Yeah, Mark was just telling me earlier that he's open for any other Ukrainian refugees. So,
Oh yeah, I will take them in. Obviously, doing the best I can with the war effort. Just text me, and we'll see what your resume looks like. Please send photos.
All right. So this is from Seth. We continue to offer heartfelt condolences to the family of Halyna Hutchins, Joel, Susan, all those traumatized by the Rust tragedy. And this is where he breaks up. The Santa Fe District Attorney's informal test of a very old revolver has zero reference in the course of their investigation into the Rust tragedy.
Relevance, yeah.
What did I say?
I don't know. Reference. You said reference. You mumbled incoherently for a while, then you passed out.
Oh, okay.
And you came back and you started reading again because there was ... and then you picked it up very nicely there.
Oh, thank you.
But your LBJ was impeccable. I mean,
I'm hell with ellipses.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Wow. All right. We are confident that the FBI's scientific methods of testing and analysis will conclude that the Single Action Army SAA revolver that Mr. Baldwin fired on the tragic day was functioning as designed. Okay. And that was something I specifically asked him because it's we go round and around and around about the particular gun, what went down. And obviously, if he did run into the set, technically that's the last he saw of it until it was on the set. So somebody could have damaged it on the set, but as far as we know, it's perfectly
I'm going to make a bold prediction. We will never hear from the FBI in this matter.
I don't think that's that bold of a prediction.
Okay. In the article, what the district attorney says, she said she's expecting the results of the forensics from the FBI by the end of February. I am disagreeing with that. I'm not in the article and I'm not the DA, but based on the FBI's previous examples in these cases, it's going to be till hell freezes over till they respond to that case.
Yeah. Or
how long did the Vegas shooting case take for them to respond? How many years?
Have they?
I think there was a response 2 years later.
Huh. Okay.
Okay. But anyway, I'm only mentioning that because of the article saying we're already at February 25th. So she's saying in the article, I'm expecting the forensics by the end of February. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Now, this was a really interesting thing, and I talked to him about it a little bit. But we are not surprised by Mr. Baldwin's inability to recall the traumatic events of the Rust tragedy.
Let me ask you something. Who is we? Him and his wife or his family? Or
he's representing PDQ. So it'll be him, Sarah Zachary. I'm guessing.
Okay.
That's he and the organization.
It's a good question.
It could be the Royal We.
Could be.
I don't know. Seth, is it the Royal We? Let me know.
Yeah, who is we? I mean, it's his family, it's his lawyer. I mean, I don't know,
I think it's him, his team, Sarah.
Okay, that's fair. No, it's just unclear, based on this, who's we?
Yeah, true.
I mean, is he getting sued? Is it we getting sued, or is it him getting sued?
Well, they're both getting sued technically because they name in the suits they name PDQ and they name him.
He's being sued, Sarah Zachary, separately, right?
Yeah, and he is separately, and PDQ is.
She's an employee. Okay.
Yes, she works for PDQ, and that's another question that I have answered because we've talked off the side. Well, why wasn't Sarah doing the armor? Could she have been an armor? And from my understanding, yes, she could have been, but the armor is only a few days out of the whole thing. So you could be a prop master, which is in charge of the whole department for the entire movie, or you can do a few days work.
Which we said originally. You and I said that originally.
All right, so we are not surprised by Mr. Baldwin's inability to recall the traumatic events of the Rust tragedy, as we have personally witnessed actors struggle to recall exactly how many blank rounds they had fired in a realistic blank gunfire sequences.
Mm-hmm.
In one instance, a seasoned actor said he didn't think he had gotten off a single shot. The 5-shot revolver was opened. All 5 blanks had been fired. And he told me about it.
Just to interject, actors have told me the same thing. Name actors and my discussions about this. The Vikings didn't have guns. What did they use? Bows and arrows or crossbows or something? What was their main thing?
Well,
did they have rifles? Did they have muskets? No,
well, they definitely had axes.
They had access to grind, but
Oh yeah.
They didn't have firearms, did they? Or
I don't think so.
we'll have to talk to Denmark. After
Probably bows and arrows.
Bows and arrows. Okay.
I'm pretty sure they had that, or at least rudimentary.
Bows and arrows. Okay.
But it's not something that would be. I don't know how effective that would be coming off of a boat. I mean, like having.
Here's my question: when did the Vikings get firearms? That's my main question. Or did firearms postdate the Vikings?
Somebody will get back to you.
Okay, no, I don't know. I'm throwing.
Maybe Jan knows that.
I'm an inquisitive person about the Vikings, but let's see.
Jan promises to not talk about Vikings or make Viking jokes. So then we're asking all about the Vikings. So
well, it's an intriguing thing because we're Americans. We don't like they want to know about our culture. I don't know anything about the Vikings, so I've been focused on American culture. Hence the name of the show. But okay, so get back to your dramatic reading here.
Oh, of course. And things to do though is saying that the FBI is probably not who we should refer to as the experts.
I didn't refer to them as experts.
I think you did.
I said experts?
I think you did.
I never say experts. Dude, I very rarely use that word. It's almost an insult now to say someone's an expert. It's like a mocking, you know.
That's true. That's true because expert is actually thrown out there sometimes to replace an actual title. So you'll say somebody is a medical expert and maybe have them sign a letter. And they're not actually a doctor.
We have a woman here in LA, the county medical person who has only a PhD in urban planning and social work. Vikings and red guns. That's what I thought. Thanks. Yeah. And that hence their problem. Hence their problems. If the Vikings had guns, we would be in a different world today. But unfortunately, the Vikings had no Second Amendment, Eric, and that's one of the big problems of being a Viking.
Okay. And anyway, finish that out,
go on,
he described the scene to me that they were inside of a cafe and doing a shootout. So like a small quarter multi-gun shootout, a lot of noise, pressure, things like that. And that was where the actor was like, I don't think I even got any rounds off.
Right. Okay.
Right. So it was interesting. Okay, so to continue, a properly functioning single action army revolver with 4-position Colt designed hammer will not fire unless contact with the trigger is made and maintained until the hammer is in full cock position, has fallen past the 3/4 cock, half cock, and quarter cock positions.
Mm-hmm.
And the quarter cock is like literally described about 1/16 of an inch off. Like you can get a thumbnail in there, but you're not going to get much in there. Mm-hmm. And that was the replacement for the cowboy load. Because prior to that, they would just leave the chamber empty because if it fell down and the hammer hit, it would, strike the primer, bullet could go off. That quarter cock is how they could leave it into position in the holster, have all cylinders filled. But even when it falls, it's strong enough that the quarter cock, it's not going to fire.
If the trigger is suppressed by the shooter and the shooter pulls back the hammer into each position, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
In the 4th position with the trigger suppressed, will the hammer go all the way down, hitting the firing pin? That's the only question I have. This has been so muddy. This is the only question that we saw. Wasn't there a little tag on video at the end of the animation?
Well, they had the video. We did Machine Gun Dad's video.
Right.
Showed that.
Right.
And I have confirmed it. Now, and he states in here, removing pressure from the trigger before any of those partial positions will cause it to be caught on a sear. So it will not fire.
He's saying it will not fire. He's
taking if you release it. If you remove the pressure. So if you release the pressure on the trigger, it will not fire. So he had to have had the pressure on the trigger.
Right, which is what we thought originally.
Yes.
Watched all Stone's Untold History since your last stream and also his ever so relevant interview with Putin. Yeah, those are great. I mean, the whole series is great. The Putin thing's great. Gave me an autographed copy of the book, which I have, and having nothing to do with this show, but thanks, Marty, or Party.
Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, thank you for the super chat, bro.
All right. So removing the pressure from it would not allow it to fire, so he had to have it pulled down.
Right.
Agreed.
Right.
I also confirmed he tried this on over 6 guns to see if he could duplicate it. He could not. He has multiple of the exact same gun.
Has tried to do this, or
yes, Seth tried to do this himself. As soon as he heard and saw the interview, it was like, okay, and he did every way he could think of.
Let me just interrupt you here. The guy in the video last week did it. the video that was attached to the animation from the law firm? Or
Mhm.
remember there was a guy at the end with a video we were watching?
Yeah. In the middle,
What was that attached to? That was
I don't remember that they pulled it from another one. It was the lawyers announcing the Hutchins lawsuit. It was in the middle of the animation.
Right.
That they had the guy.
But that guy demonstrated the suppressed trigger,
correct,
and the release of the hammer.
Yes.
Okay, just so I know. So this is contradicting what Seth is writing.
No, it's not. Seth is confirming it. Seth is saying that you could not get the thing to fire unless there's pressure on the trigger.
Okay, all right. I'll take your word for it.
Anyway, so the gun Mr. Baldwin was used during the filming of Rust was a brand new, unmodified reproduction Colt single action army with the 4-position hammer.
And hammer. Okay. So just so the audience at home who may have missed 32 previous episodes, he was cocking it into position for an ECU that she was trying to zoom in on. Excuse me? Extreme close-up to show the positions of the cocked hammer, from what I gathered. And I guess that's what happened. I mean, because he's going like this, like this, like this, and she's framing each cocked hammer position. Right, Eric?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go on then. And just so we know.
Okay. Unmodified. Okay. There have been errant reports that Mr. Baldwin's SAA had previously misfired. There were, in fact, 0 misfires, malfunctions of the guns supplied to the Rust production, including Mr. Baldwin's. However, on October 16th, there were 2 accidental discharges of 2 blank rounds before the Rust tragedy of October 21st.
Okay, 5 days before.
Alec Baldwin's stuntman accidentally discharged a blank from a reproduction 1860 Henry Lever action rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And later that same day, Rust prop master Sarah Zachary accidentally discharged a blank round while loading a different single action.
Let me just stop you there, because the Sarah Zachary accidentally discharged a blank round phrase has been directed at Hannah Reed having done that. It's the first I'm hearing that Zachary did it. Right, Eric?
No, we knew it was Zachary before.
That she misfired a gun?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I thought it was Reed.
No, that was Reed on the Nick Cage film.
Right, but the accidental firings in this movie
were Sarah Zachary.
I thought it was a stuntman and Reed.
No, it was the prop master and stuntman, and then later we found out Sarah Zachary.
Okay, so the prop master, who's not an armorer, is shooting the guns.
Well, they were all working together.
I'm just saying. Saying, was the craft service guy shooting the guns, or no? I mean, how many other people are shooting guns here? How does the stuntman? Who is he shooting at? I don't know. He's the stand-in or the stuntman?
Stuntman.
Because it says, hold on,
Alec Baldwin stuntman.
I don't know what that means. Does that mean Alec Baldwin's stand-in, or what does that mean? His double?
Well, I mean, I think that they're different. I think a double is just
that's why I'm asking you. They're radically different.
Well, it says stuntman, so I can only go with what he said.
No, but it has an apostrophe S.
Yeah,
I think what he means here, and I don't want to read too much into it, is his stand-in.
Well, okay, I think of a standman as somebody who is there, setting the camera up, etc., while he's not there, and a stuntman is somebody who actually jumps on a horse or does an activity for him. Right,
but it wouldn't be Alec Baldwin's stuntman; it would be a stuntman on the film. See, the possession of the S indicates he either miswrote this as his stand-in or it's a stuntman of the film.
Well, I think it's a stuntman on the film, the one who acted as Alec.
That's the double then. That's not a stuntman on a film. That's a double.
Well, I thought that you have assigned stuntmen and assigned doubles.
2 different things.
Well, I know that's why I'm so confused. But I mean,
I'm confused by it too. That's why I'm pointing it out.
Well, no, okay, but let's back up because
it's his double. The only thing it could be is his double stuntman or stand-in a stuntman. But then again,
well, I've seen not 1,000. I've seen multiple behind the scenes things.
Where a stuntman doubles as a guy.
Well, he says a stuntman / double of Alex.
Oh, thank you for explaining it. Okay, let's go on. Thank you.
All right.
That's different, Eric.
Okay, I don't know. I don't work in the film. And he said doubles aren't always stuntmen, and that's what I thought.
That's right.
Okay. Where were we? Where were we?
The stuntman, whoever he was,
accidentally discharged. Sarah accidentally discharged, and while loading a different single action. There were no injuries related to these accidental blank discharges, and in Sarah's instance, she apologized to all the cast and crew in the immediate vicinity, also informing and apologizing to 2 of her supervisors, including the famous Ms. Pickle.
She apologized to Pickle?
Yeah, well, I mean, come on. If you a round goes up, you probably would go around saying, "Oh my God, I didn't mean to do that." We were talking about that, and he said that it may have been an incident with what he described as timing. And timing is apparently when you are loading the gun, because let's say you have to have 1 shot in the scene, you only need to have 1 blank in there, but you need to have the blank lined up, and that's called timing. So everything else will be dummies, and there'll be 1 blank, the rest dummies. So it still looks good on the shot coming after.
I'll buy that.
And he said it's possible because when you're doing it and the hammer may have slipped, when she was putting it in or whatever, in advancing to get the timing. And that we don't know exactly what happened, but that discharge happened.
Okay.
Let me see. More important business. Steph D, thank you very much.
Steph D's in the house. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. I need the book fund, Steph. Thank you.
Definitely. And then always the other factor is we're almost always demonetized. So, in the spirit of it.
That's funny.
This merch is available down below.
That's also part of our merch?
No, this is the Eric Hunley channel merch, but they're all in the same shop.
You got your own line of merch? What's going on here, Hunley?
Hey, I've got to get in every way I can. You have your own book that we're pimping.
Well, which we've given away on Locals to everyone has come on board.
Yeah,
either of you have read the free web version of Piata's safety manual for Baldwin's gun, page 38? Will answer your question. Okay, I'll get on that right after the show.
I'm guessing that's about the 4 clicks and which we'll
let Seth read that and tell us how that works. I don't have time for that one.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that is the basic statements I got in from Seth on that, and just a little bit more information.
Oh, okay.
Last bit in the article that was written, the Vanity Fair piece, it had to be revised because there is a statement in there, and I actually have the original. I'm glad I did a PDF of it. I did a PDF because I was thinking, okay, it's going to be behind the paywall. So who knows if I can pull this up again.
Oh, this is the correction on the pseudo interview of him?
Correct. Here we go.
That looked pretty sketchy as a journalist when I read that quote of some random phone that they called to get some random text message response. That didn't look accurate.
Yeah, and here is the exact point. A guy wrote in, Kinney declined to be interviewed for the story. Calls placed to PDQ headquarters in Lake Havasu were not answered. A text sent to a cell phone listed under Kinney's name received the following reply. This is fake news. I don't see any credibility in your organization.
Well, who wrote that? The new owner of the cell phone?
Apparently.
That's pretty bold.
You know what? I mean, you get somebody who gets their phone, and I could almost see it. Yes, this is Vanity Fair, and you who the hell are you?
Right. I would do that. It's something I would do, but I don't know the regular person would do that,
I don't know. Well, maybe you're more regular than you think.
Right. Oh, that's good to know.
I don't know, man. Anyway, so the article has been revised. What I think is interesting is they kind of casually revised it.
Yeah, they don't do straight out retractions any longer. They do these vague corrections, and they really got to be caught with their pants down to do that.
Yeah, and it's like, why don't you just say? Well, I feel like they should make a point of pointing out that they did it. But anyway, here, a request for comment sent to a number listed under Kinney's name received a hostile response. But after the story is published, Kinney reached out to Vanity Fair to say this is an old number and the comments were not him. In a subsequent interview with Vanity Fair, this is where it starts to get interesting too. and actually more information got into here.
Hmm.
This is about the rounds. Now, there has been a lot printed out.
Wait. Finish the quote. Finish what it says.
Okay, sorry.
Kenny says the can of ammunition in question was
nowhere near the rust set. The bullets that Thel Reed gave him were brought to Texas for the actor training on that other film, Kenny says, and remained in Texas on the set of that project until after the Hutchins shooting incident.
That's interesting.
Now, this is the part, and this is really, really important too.
Okay.
And we confirmed it. He adds that the makeup of these bullets physically differ from the fatal one. The rounds I got from Thel don't match. I gave the sheriff's department a sample of those rounds, Kenny says, emphasizing prior to the search warrant they executed. He says that he remains confident he and his business will be exonerated when the investigation is complete. All my dummy rounds that I provided to the show were very unique. I talked about this before. They were chemically aged and patinaed to look like they've been around for a very long time, he said.
Right.
My dummy rounds check out.
What does that mean?
As in, this matches up. Now, what he's saying too, though, is
look at the next paragraph. That's a good one.
Yeah. Let's see. Yes. Well, he did. Remember, we did go into this text, and go and talk to the police, tell them everything, answer every question, down to what you had for breakfast. He wrote in November, according to another screenshot included in the claim. You're young, certainly not green or inexperienced with period weapons, but you did get rolled over by the set system and the AD with 30 plus years of experience. I think you did, and you're too proud to say that.
Right. But the first line, I think, is what we talked about originally, that they were trying initially to shift the blame for all of this to the AD Halls.
Well, they're claiming that he was in that, and that was the implication, which, in fairness, I don't know if I'm reading that necessarily.
It says, Kenny suggests he urged her to shift the blame to Rust's assistant director. That's a pretty damning statement if it's true.
Right. Well, that's what the lawsuit stated. We saw the lawsuit. Yeah.
Right.
Well, it was against Kenny.
What does Seth say about that? Is that true or not true? I mean, that's pretty bold to say that. Save yourselves, shift the blame to David Halls. That's a bold thing to say.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we'll see when it comes in. I mean, the text is literally there. Go and talk to the police, tell them everything, answer every question, down to what you had for breakfast. And then in another screenshot, you're young, certainly not green or inexperienced, but you did get rolled over by the set system. So that's there. And the AD with 30 plus years of experience, I think you did.
Well, it's a question mark there. It's a question mark.
I'm not sure.
It says 30 years.
Oh, but did you get rolled over?
Right.
Did this happen?
It changes the whole meaning of the phrase.
Yeah. Sorry. I didn't.
Right. He's asking her that, but on the top, he urges her to shift the blame. These are two contradictory statements.
That's what I'm saying. That his text doesn't support what is being blamed.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Okay, good.
What are you arguing with me for? I'm just one guy. You dragged me into this, Hunley. I'm just pointing out the journalistic.
Going by the comments. So
when I read this article, this had so many goddamn holes in it, this story, that I don't know, unless it was rushed or the writer himself, who I pointed out to you, he's written like 3 features in his life. One of them about Philip Seymour Hoffman, where heroin doesn't even enter the article. And he obviously, this is near the end of Hoffman's life, when everybody, including my mother, knew he was a heroin addict.
Right.
The same writer of this particular article is all I'm saying.
Right. No, definitely. And okay. No, we got Alec Pillow comments. What are you talking about?
No, Alec, we did. That's how we started.
We open with it. And go back, listen again, get a view.
Yeah.
All right, come on, Eric. Get Mark his own merch, branded purple.
Yeah, I've been trying to say that, JP.
And Lord Buckley pomade.
It's ridiculous. I've got a pomade product line. I've got a pocket square line. I mean, when do I get my due, Hunley?
Oh God, keep Texas
out of this. We'll try. People keep dragging Texas into this. I don't think it's really worthy of Texas at this point. Arizona looks bad, and New Mexico looks even worse. Let's put it that way.
And people really want that purple.
Yeah, well, look, I'm all for it, Hunley. I only have 2 myself.
I know, and you would be the first one to buy. Thank you very much.
Isn't your wife retiring? Can't we put her to work? I don't have a wife, but if I had a wife who was retiring, maybe we could weave her into the program.
Ouch. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Get your cats on it, Hunley.
Yeah, there you go. I am talking to somebody who may be doing something, but I don't know.
Look at
yet.
the very bottom of the screen. You get a year of Vanity Fair. It says $29.99, and then it's crossed out.
$8, and you get a free tote.
And a free tote. They got better merch than we do, Hunley.
Well, yeah.
Vanity Fair is giving away free totes for an $8 subscription. What do we have? $5 and no merch?
Well, this is how you advertise, folks. We're giving as little value as possible. Thank you, Mark.
Right. Thank you.
Everybody sign up. Well, thank you, Hal Edwards. So, well,
and then pillow comments from me today.
Okay.
This guy's getting weird on us. I don't know what's going on here with this guy. But all right, so where are we now? We've got the
okay. Well, it's what we were just talking about.
The Vanity Fair piece.
The Vanity Fair piece, yes. And there were several other things that we wanted to go over in the piece. And the question whether he got rolled, she got rolled over, did not get rolled over, whatever. I don't know. I think that is the text that is shown contradicts the claim. And yes, the piece is bad. Her lawsuit's not the best I've ever read either.
All right. Yeah, there's got a lot of typos in that lawsuit.
Well, and also things like that where it's saying, here's a text that says this, and then you read the text, you're like, well, does it really say that?
Right.
So I don't know.
Did you see the broadcast of the Today Show with the other excerpt of Matthew?
The 10-minute one.
No, the new one I'm talking about.
I have not seen the full one. I've only seen the.
Well, I saw the full one today.
Oh, good. So
right. I'm not going to discuss it with you though, because you should have watched it yourself.
Let me stop the day job to watch that.
I know. No, I'm kidding. It was kind of more of the same. There was nothing really revealed.
Well, that was my worry. Is I was like, no offense, I know he lost his wife and all that, but to me, the 10 minutes was plenty.
Right. This was like an additional 10 minutes. I don't know. They didn't say there was more. They just kept focusing on Ukraine. They were trying to tie in the invasion of Ukraine with his wife being from Ukraine. I mean, this was a real stretch, but they were more covering the war. Maybe there's more to the interview, but they kept going back to the invasion.
The only thing that I thought it was somebody sending me comments, like people put me below the video, and somebody pointed out, and I was like, "Ooh, that's a good point." That Baldwin may have ambushed him at the hotel with his son.
Oh, you mentioned that. Yeah. That he didn't see him coming.
Yeah. And in the interview, the way he described it, because she was saying, you saw Alec that day. And he said, we were in shock. And there was just a tonality about it. I mean, that was in the 10-minute one that I thought they might have a really strong point. I could see where he just gets into town, because remember it showed Baldwin, he's rolling his bag.
Mm-hmm.
With all those pictures that I showed a while back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it does kind of feel like maybe he did get ambushed. Maybe suddenly he gets into town, Baldwin shows up, and then how would you react if you get it?
It's awkward.
Yeah, and you're like, okay.
I mean, didn't he meet him when he went to New Mexico?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think Baldwin ambushed him in New Mexico when he went to New Mexico, when he traveled there.
Right.
And at the hotel, because I'm sure that Alec was told, and I don't know if he technically ambushed him, but it almost appears as if it could have been, or surprised him, or was unexpected. Or
well, you think they were staying in this? How many hotels were there? Were they staying in the same?
Probably
hotel?
Not that many. I mean, I'm sure that there's
maybe they're in the same hotel.
Could well be. Well be. Don't know. And I would. It's just an interesting point. And he did have his reaction about it was very, very telling when he said, well, we were in shock, etc. And
what they didn't cover, which I am still fascinated about, is the Ukrainian Commodore father, where he is during the war. Is he on the side of Putin? Is he on the side of Zelensky? Is he here? Is he coming to the trial? Is he in a retired submarine brigade out of the Ukraine?
What do you want to bet that they don't even know that her father is a freaking submarine commander?
Who doesn't know?
The Today Show staff. They mean,
no. Obviously, yeah, they didn't know anything. But I'm curious as to where the dad is.
Oh,
because the last thing we now have the dad and the husband who are angry at Alec Baldwin. That's why I'm mentioning it. Mm-hmm. Initially, it was the father. And I thought, well, why doesn't he come here, or will he come here for the trial? He didn't come for the funeral of his own daughter, Eric, which I found to be odd.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, this is your daughter. I mean, and your grandson doesn't have.
Well, because
mother.
remember he made that cryptic comment, like I hope to be able to go, like he
Right.
was unable. Now we
Well, I got the
speculated.
impression, as I said to you this morning, that he met this woman through a website and traveled to the Ukraine, asked her to marry him, and she said no, is what he said in the interview. I think
Right.
because he said he never met her. He knew her for 30 days somehow, from 3,000 miles. That sounds like some Ukrainian bride
weird.
website, Eric.
Yeah, I think it was 3 months. I think she said that.
Okay, so 3 months he was online, and those are very expensive websites
and
to
he
get a
flew
Ukraine.
over and just met the family.
No,
and
he took a
convinced her.
train for hours to go to the Ukraine. He said.
Well, okay, that confused me too. Is he supposedly took a train? Well, I think it was both a plane and a train.
Probably, yeah. And automobiles,
for
planes, trains, and
2,000.
automobiles, yeah.
Well, I'm like, how the hell are you going to get across the ocean on a train, dude? So he had to have a plane in
Well,
there
I
somewhere.
think he was working for one of those law firms in Eastern Europe, if you
Okay,
recall,
maybe
buying up depressed properties. If I remember,
carpet bagging, maybe.
What's that?
Maybe he's carpet bagging. There's a long tradition of Eastern.
Well,
Europe.
no. In a way, that's what they were doing. I mean, that was his area of legal expertise for those law firms. But it looks like he met her, and she still turned him down when he married, when he proposed on his knees with her. She said no. You know what I mean? And this sounds like some negotiation technique that maybe her father was involved in to raise money. Who knows? The whole thing sounds so bizarre. And now the Commodore must be coming here, or I would think he would come here for the trial, to give some background about his daughter's character.
All right, and she was maybe annoyed with us. No, we're not saying he didn't love her. We're saying it's an odd relationship. That's all. They could be completely besotted with each other from day after.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an odd thing. It's not normal.
This is not a normal. Every day. I mean, nothing about this story is normal. That's the point, as she was, whatever your handle there was. I mean, when your father is the top Soviet sub commander out of Murmansk, I bought a wife from China, but I passed out while I was trying to inflate her. Yeah. Look, there's different ways to skin this cat. The rate to get a Ukrainian bride, and I did some research on this, is about $20,000 to $30,000 of payoffs and whatever the money goes to. I'm not really sure, but from what I understand, and there's so many of these Ukrainian brides here in Hollywood, is why I'm mentioning it. At first it was Russians, then it became Ukrainian.
Sure.
And it costs a lot of money to pull this entire thing off. I don't know where the love comes into it. That's a separate issue, but the actual structure of the deal can be very expensive.
Yeah, and two things can be true at once. He could pay a lot of money. He could be completely besotted with her, and yes, they did have a kid. Yeah, okay, they had a kid, and she was.
They had a kid. They had a kid 10 years after marriage, though.
Yeah,
right. The kid's about 6. They've been married 16 years. Is that possible?
I think the kid might be older. I don't know. I mean, it's a young kid. I don't know the full age. I didn't really dig into that as much. We kind of were more into.
Well, the only reason I'm mentioning the kid is because he kept mentioning the kid in the interview. It was more about the kid, if you remember, in the Today Show.
Yes,
how he told him, how he did this, it was about the kid, and that's what you're saying. The lawsuit will be a lot about the child and the raising of the child and the care of the child.
Oh, for sure. The child has no mother. I mean, you have the lots of contortions.
I am going to make another bold prediction. Yeah. He will have a mother by the end of the year.
I won't comment on that prediction.
I'm going to make that prediction. He will have another mother. Is that a thing? Okay. Another mother?
I don't know.
This guy, he's a good-looking guy, makes a ton of money, looks like he's about 22 years old. He has a child without a mother. This is not going to stand in this town.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he is potentially going to get a few extra dollars in his pocket. So he's starting to look like.
I don't think he needs it, but
probably not.
Apparently, AFI set up a scholarship in her name, which
that's awesome.
Right, which is right in back of my building right here, the AFI. It's right here. I was looking at that going, is he at the AFI or this morning? And she said, the interviewer said he dropped the kid off at school and came to AFI. What I said to you last night was, while she was working 16-hour days shooting films and he was working 16-hour days as a lawyer, who raised this kid?
Good question.
I mean, was it a Mexican nanny? You know what I mean? Which is fine. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I mean,
yeah, they're busy. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, this is a couple that is, you know, not around.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. And okay, and I don't quite understand the context of this, but
say you, Eric, could go on TV without crying even after 4 months. I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't. Was he crying? I couldn't. Look, I lost a girlfriend in August. I can't even talk about it. You know, he was an ex-girlfriend.
He was very put together.
Yeah.
I will say that. I'm not going to lay in any other judgment, anything. It's just he was very put together. He was very presentable. He also is a very, if not himself, he's in very high-powered firms. And I am guessing that he probably is a master at presentation with his job and his experience, etc. So I don't know what I can necessarily read into it because he literally is a power.
He's a lawyer. He's a corporate lawyer, so I don't think these kind of cases come his way.
No, but presenting to one-on-one clients, he's while he may not be in a courtroom, he's definitely going to be presenting a board.
Wasn't he the CEO of a liquor company out of Kentucky for a couple minutes?
Yeah, he
remember that?
Yeah, he's special.
Special counsel or CEO.
Go look up his LinkedIn, folks, because his
the LinkedIn thing was really weird. Yeah, didn't he have a film company and an animation company out of Japan at one point?
Yep, part 3, folks. Go to part 3, Finding the Dots, and we go all through it.
Go back and take a look. It's been like 10 years since I looked at it, but there's a lot of information there about him, which I'm now remembering.
Which is crazy. Think about that. Part 3. This is
when was that?
17.
Was that in October or November?
Oh, I don't know. It was in 20. It was pre-COVID, I think. It's been going on forever. I'm kidding.
Okay, so now just to get back to Alec Baldwin is now for the first time speaking through his counsel.
Yes.
Which is a change in tonality that we now see him using, which some people said he should have used from day one. What did the lawyers say, Eric?
Anybody who claims that he was irresponsible in any way is patently false, or some variant of that.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens if he stays quiet, because this is going to be a very interesting couple of weeks to see what Baldwin says, if anything, about the case. Or, I mean, you think about the range of subjects that he has discussed. It's either the case or
November 5th, 2021.
November 5th. Sadie, glad to meet you. Welcome aboard, Sadie.
Thank you.
November 5th. You're right. Oh man. Anyway, he's only discussed 2 things as far as I remember: the case or his insane love of his wife and family. He's right. I mean, what other subjects has he talked about?
Oh, the film for a minute, and that nobody, and they're new. They're all new. There's some really good people on film, and
right. Okay, but that's related to the case. That's related to the case. I'm saying it's.
I thought this is a new film. I don't know.
Oh, the new film that lasted like 4 days. The 97 minutes that lasted.
Well, that and the guy who lost his car and had it stolen, and that was a hilarious story.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. The stolen car of the driver.
Because Alec can get joy out of other people's suffering. I mean, he's got some range, Mark.
The guy was carjacked at gunpoint. He found that to be hysterically funny.
Hey, humor. Everybody has different humor. Oh, well, yes. And of course, the Splenda packet, which could be tied to this case.
That's right. That was tied into the case also. But I'm just curious as to where he's going to go now in terms of his storyline on Instagram.
All right. Seth has a non-fan here. Cat's crazy
like all that, and Sarah's son. Well, look,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's Cat maybe onto something here. You know, simply because you're saying it doesn't make it necessarily so.
Right. And also, I'm reaching out to everybody, and I hear from other people.
Hunley even contacted my mother in the afterlife to ask her opinion about the case. She refused to make a comment at this time.
No, but she told me a lot about Mark, but we can't go into that.
She won't shut up. She's up at wherever limbo she's at.
I know it's a mistake, man. Why the hell did I have to go there?
You know, I gave you the number and you called, and apparently the cell phone still works in the afterlife.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Horrible mistake.
Horrible.
Okay, so back to Vanity Fair.
Right.
Okay, okay. Mark and I talk a lot about this on the side, and just things that are really curious. And one of them you were pointing out to me about the DA saying that her investigators, like, she just seized it from the Santa
Oh,
Fe
right. Yeah,
Sheriff's
she
Department.
says that in the piece, how she drove them crazy, how she embedded her investigators in the sheriff's office, and they went over the search warrant and documents and making them rewrite them. These guys must want to shoot themselves in the head. The sheriff's department, inundated with legal lesbians from Los Gatos, which is the name of my new book, by the way, Legal Lesbians from Los Gatos.
I like the alliteration.
Yeah, that's all I have to offer at this point.
Well, you are a professional.
Yeah,
screenwriter.
So, okay, so the DA says that they drove them insane in the Vanity Fair piece, by her own admission, which I imagine must be 10 times worse than her admission of how they are micromanaging this case. And at one point she says the former investigator, some reference to not being the investigator any longer, that they've taken this over themselves. And then there's the incident where she brings the gun in the office and tries to duplicate some random handgun. And she says, I don't know anything about guns, as if she works at Macy's. I just found that to be bizarre. Her wife is a sheriff of some sort, and she says, I don't know anything about guns.
She's obviously never tried anybody for a shooting.
Right. The whole thing is so sketchy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, why not? Everywhere else it is too. It's like every direction, every way we dig. And somebody,
boy, there's nothing normal about this case.
And Steph P, what will signify the bleeding? And I have no idea.
Well, obviously, either an indictment or the trial.
Or you guys stop watching us.
Yeah, we just can't
and then we say, anymore. Oh, we quit.
I may lose the will to go on. I mean,
we barely have it anymore.
I'm about to call my attorney and get out of this. This is not pleasant for me. Hunley talks me into it every week.
Oh, yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Just like the rest of this case.
Right.
If people want it, we're like, okay.
Well, look, we're going to keep going if there's news. If not, we're not going to beat a dead horse, over this thing. If something pops up, we'll pop up. If not, the Vanity Fair piece was big enough, plus the lawsuit, plus other added.
Him showing up and doing an interview and.
Yeah, the TV thing with Hutchins. I mean, there was a lot of stuff now, but I have a feeling we're going to be going through a dry period related to this, right?
Yeah, we hope.
We hope. Yeah, but I mean, it may be true anyway. I don't know how much longer this story is going to have legs, unless Baldwin, just goes crazy.
Well, he seems to like to pop up every 10 minutes. Like supposedly wanting to be left alone with his family.
Let me ask you something. Was he doing this before the incident? I wasn't really following him. Was he doing this on Insta? Oh, he was. Okay. I
think so, because somebody has done like a track record of his stuff. There's another guy, and I have no problem shouting people out. True Crime Rocket Science. He's done this major in-depth coverage of this. And I think he did at least one episode kind of going through all of Baldwin's history over the past years. I mean, he's always got some incident or another. It's like every couple of years. You've got the stalking person. So people sent me stuff about that from 2013, the woman who was stalking him. And I think she's locked up still, or maybe not. Don't even know.
You have to have a stalker if you're going to be an A-list celebrity. So my theory is that they hire these people out of desperation, the PR firms.
What the claim is, at least one person wrote me that the woman was with him, and when he hooked up with Hilaria, it was a way to get rid of her. That they had a consensual relationship.
Oh, I never heard that.
And she feels really thrown under the bus or something. But again, I don't know enough. These are all rumors. There is a whole thing that was put out on Reddit, and if you want to know more, also there's a r/Hilaria Baldwin Reddit where people trash her and Baldwin quite a lot. Not a lot of fans there of them, but somebody wrote out a really thorough piece, and I have not had the time to get through it, about some financial chicanery possibly going on.
About the ranch next door with the horses?
Yes.
And what about the place in Vermont? What is that about?
Well, apparently he dropped like 1.25 million on another
Dude,
place.
he's got so much money. I mean, to just do that.
Well, I think he has 60 million or more.
Michael, thank you. There's a man who knows what I'm about. Thank you, Michael, and your lovely dog, whatever that kind of dog that is. That's a cute dog.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
It almost looks like a Great Pyrenees puppy, but man, I don't know.
What a great looking dog. I
Very
have to
handsome.
save the Ukrainians myself. I'm going to work with the Commodore.
Oh, one or two at a time. No,
one at a time. One at a time.
Mark's aging, so it may
one at a time. One Ukrainian at a time. Yeah, we'll get him out of there. That's our motto. Tucker had a guy on who was like from Israel yesterday, who was trying to rescue people in the Ukraine, and I'm going like, oh, this guy's beat me to the punch. He was talking about how it cost 10,000 Ukrainian dollars to rent a bus to get them out of the Ukraine. Ooh. And I'm saying, what is Israel's connection? He had like Jewish letters on his vest. You know, he was wearing like a safety vest, and Tucker's like going, why are you there? And he's going, because I have to rescue the Ukrainians, but it's very difficult, and I'm under a lot of pressure. Guy beat me to the punch.
Oh, there you go, Mark. You've gotten beaten to the punch before in other things.
Mm-hmm.
So rather said rent a tank.
That's funny. That's funny.
That's probably more effective than a bus.
Out of Stripes. Remember the armored personnel carrier and Stripes when they went into Eastern Europe? You know, that's what we're going to have to do, Eric. We're going to have to reenact Stripes. You could be, what's his name from Canada?
No, John Candy. Thanks a
lot.
Be
the
buddy.
John. I'll be. Murray,
okay. Out of everybody,
I'll be Murray, you be or I'll be. What's his face?
I'll be Harold Ramis. Thanks.
I'll be Ramis. You be Murray.
Oh God. Okay. So I think it wraps it up for now.
Is that true?
A lot. Yeah. Okay. So
wait a second. True. I deleted my critical comment. Maybe not so true. Oh wow, Rolf. Very good.
No, that's not cool. I mean, in fairness to him, because we get accused of deleting comments, and I'm like, I never even saw your comment.
Right.
Some things get caught by the algorithm. If you put a link in a comment, a lot of times it gets stripped out.
Or they got deleted because you say crazy crap.
It could be that. There could be a lot of things, or he could have deleted because he doesn't like. I have no idea. I can't speculate, but I will say
Scandinavian. This guy may have a thing about Scandinavians. The true crime guy. That guy Rolf, I think, was Scandinavian.
Yeah, well, he's South African.
Oh, South African. I'm sorry. Take that back.
But he's got a Dutch name.
He's got a Dutch name.
Well, they've got that Dutch South African.
Africana is the African.
Africana.
Oh, he's an Africana.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I'd like to talk to him.
Oh, he's producing every day. And the other one, even though I think he's settled down, H.A. Goodman for a while.
Oh, yeah. He's back he's on to other things now, right?
I guess. I don't really watch the channel for other stuff, but yeah, I think so. Either way, I want people to know that there's a lot of stuff out there. We're not trying to hold everybody to the channel. We're not jealous of going to other channels. Go check them out.
I don't even know any other. This is the only channel I watch. This and Viva and Barnes. These are the only two things I've ever seen on YouTube. My experience is rather narrow. I'm sure there's other things of interest out there. Well, I do watch Rogan, so there is that. But that's on Spotify.
So there you go. Yeah. You're off the hook there.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, Tuesday, Mardi Gras.
Oh my God, that's right. Oh,
and
Jesus.
That is the world's largest toga party. Followed by Friday, I think we're doing the coffee shop.
Oh, Shelley's Coffee Shop. I will be back with the Vikings on your next video. Here's a picture of the guy.
Oh,
is that the same guy?
Must be. Did you swap it out?
He looks like a Viking, this guy.
Yeah, he does.
Wow.
Now, the Vikings wear togas.
Well, our only entry into the Vikings, like we said, is if we do the story of them coming here and then running into the Indians and whatever them leaving.
Which actually could be interesting. I mean, they're
that
discovering more and more.
That is America's Untold Story. And I wouldn't mind doing that. I'd like to look into it myself. I don't know everything about it. That's for sure. How they got here. Is that... That's not Jamestown, though. They didn't.
No. It's actually Canada,
Nova Scotia or something.
Newfoundland, I think.
Right. Do you think Viva was traced back all the way to those Vikings, possibly, or
via Ashkenazi,
via Poland? Sorry, Viva. Sorry, just a little Jewish humor. Sorry.
Little tribal humor.
Little tribal humor.
All right. So then Friday will be.
Oh yeah,
the
Friday.
coffee
Let me tell
shop,
you something about Friday, because this is, if you like the custom shop story,
which people
you know,
do. That one's going
apparently
crazy.
it's the oddest thing I've ever seen. If you like the custom shop, you're going to love Shelley's Coffee Shop, because it actually happens before the custom shop, but it's a similar kind of story involving movies, celebrities, inside the coffee shop business. Your Yiddish needs a little work, Eric. Yeah, I teach him a Yiddish word every day. One word a day. Today's word was bubamaisis. Today's word is bubamaisis, which means bullshit in Yiddish. But okay, so the coffee shop story is going to get in. If you're an ex-waitress out there, you're going to love this. And I love waitresses. They're the hardest working people in America, in my opinion.
The secret language, right?
I'm going to get into the secret languages of coffee shops, and also the structure of the coffee shop. This was on, keep in mind, this was, I want to say in the late 70s on 42nd Street, the Deuce between 8th and 9th Avenue. And I was very, very young and learned very, very quickly about 42nd Street and all its bizarre scenarios in the 70s when it was in its heyday. And I was talking to Eric about that stupid show by the guy from The Wire who made The Deuce for HBO and how inaccurate it was. And he admitted he was from Baltimore, didn't know anything about it. I was there at the time. And on Friday, I am going to tell you the story of Shelley's Coffee Shop, which was right next to the El Primo cigar store, across from the Holland Hotel, between closer to 9th on the south side of 42nd. It was a chain of coffee shops in Manhattan. I think there's about 6 or 8 of them. Not a major chain, but it was my uncle's. And I was going to graduate school at the New School in New York, downtown. And he gave me a job to run his place at night, which is insane. I think I was like 20 years old. I don't know shit from Shinola. And now I've got my own coffee shop in Manhattan on 42nd Street in the 70s. That's all I'll tell you.
Also, and this is, of course, unless things go ballistic and a police report comes out or something, then we'll cover that. But we're going to be trying, I think, as a pattern to kind of have fun Fridays. Like the custom shop is fun, the coffee shop is fun, and then Tuesdays will be more of the LBJ type of thing, and stories like that. Abby Hoffman, other stories, sort of like a pattern. So Fridays,
well,
just kind
Friday,
of
I'd like to do the making of MTV magazine if we want to stick to that schedule, because
for sure
I think they'll be fascinated, like the custom shop, to learn how I created, and also show you the inside of a magazine and working with these knuckleheads at MTV. There's a lot of interesting side stories to the MTV story. Viva are too small to be a Viking. Sorry. That's funny.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I met him.
He's a miniature Viking.
He is not.
You know what he is? He's a herring. He's a herring. He's not a Viking. He's a herring. Sorry, Viva. Sorry. But like I said, I am willing to move to Copenhagen at a moment's notice. I love Copenhagen. 2 things they love in Copenhagen: Jews and blues. And I found that to be quite attractive, because I love the blues and obviously the Jews. I mean, they have statues to Jews there. That's how much they love it. Tell your friend Viva to do something about his hair. Look, I got my own hair problems. I can't help Viva. Viva's got his own issues. I don't know, man. But
wow, Georgina, thank you so much.
Thank you, Georgina. Oh, she's a frequent guest of the show. Yeah, I've seen her name before. I like when they put up their pictures next to their.
And when they swap them out, that was pretty cool seeing you on.
Right. Well, Viva, there's always guys who look like Viva on the show and their icon, right? Is that a thing?
Well, there's a lot of those. Yeah.
Well, let me know if they start doing me, because that's when I bail from the show. If they start putting my photo for their icon, I'm getting out. That's where I draw the line for this.
Unless it's a purple cup, then you're cool.
Yeah, the cup I don't mind. If they want to freeze frame the cup and make something out of it, here's a picture of the cup for your people at home.
All right. So how can people be sure to always catch these episodes, Mark?
Oh, I guess they have to subscribe, which apparently is the biggest problem in Western civilization. To actually subscribe to this channel, nobody could figure it out. I see other channels that have 5 billion. Look at this guy, Russell Brand. He's got 5 billion subscribers. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, we're not that bad. I mean, compared to Russell Brand, he's just sitting there with a bunch of tats. He was in a couple of films. We should at least have some kind of numbers. And all you have to do, like what you said, I guess, is push a button somewhere. You don't have to pay anything, right?
No, it's free.
It's really freaky. It's really freaky. You can follow me at Lord Buckley on Twitter. I put up some kind of funny stuff.
Somebody's been, here's a repeat. Yes, you can use your nose.
Right.
You can use your
like
tongue
I said,
on
if
your
you've
phone.
got metallic hooks, like your hands were blown off while making meth in a lab in your mother's basement, and you have now metallic hooks instead of hands, you could probably still subscribe, right, Eric?
Yeah, and you're very welcome.
Right. Okay. We don't care about that.
No.
Right. And then the notifications if you want to know when the show's on. But basically, it's like, unless we're on a sidebar with Barnes, it's like Tuesday and Friday, right? Or occasionally a Monday.
Yeah, well, we did Monday because of the holiday, President's Day. So this has been a busy week. By the way, there is a pretty big back catalog, guys. We've got over 40 episodes of, LBJ, Sirhan, the Lincoln assassination. We have Mort Saul.
Don't forget Officer Tippett. We had the Tippett.
We had Officer Tippett. That's
right. I mean, we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do Ruth Payne. We're going to do Jack Ruby. Hope this makes up for getting you demonetized. Well, Ralph, it really helps. Let me tell you something.
It all helps.
It all helps. We're going to do each member, unless something really bad happens to me, which could happen. Kathleen, thank you.
This is wonderful. I could just keep talking.
Right. We're going to do each major player in the Kennedy assassination. The Oswald one is obviously the biggest, and that's the one I know the most about, having written a 10-hour miniseries for Oliver Stone. So I want to save that for late in the game. I want to do the minor. I mean, they're not minor. I want to do Ruth Payne. I want to do Jack Ruby. I want to do Wesley Buell Frazier. People of that, obviously, General Edwin Walker. And he's a Brit. Okay.
And yeah, he is fantastic. We just want to.
I'm a Russell Brand fan. I'm just saying the numbers compared to us.
Yeah.
We just want our piece. Doesn't make any sense, I mean, he doesn't know what I know. My friend was a writer for him, so I feel a little close to Russell Brand, but I live right by the Greek, so he got to the Greek on time. He had to pass by my place to get to the Greek theater over here. But so we're going to cover. Thank you, Anthony Sanson.
Yeah, we got some pounds. So
we're going to get into the General Walker story and that plot. We tried to cover, obviously, the LBJ has two more episodes. We're going to get into Vietnam.
Do we want to do J. Edgar and his boyfriend?
No. I mean, he's all through the story. I don't need a separate story. They're buried.
And he's
together.
so well covered. That
he's buried. They're buried together. I mean, obviously there were a couple, but yeah, I mean, he's going to be all through the story. We've already covered, and I think I portrayed him in a dramatic reading last week.
Masterfully. Yes.
I thought we both did very well on that.
Yes, we're noted for our dramatic readings. People write in and say they want more.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 71%, which I'm outraged.
It was incredible, man. But the audience score was 90.
Right. The audience score was much higher than the total critic score. But anyway, getting back to the subject matters, we're going to explore the assassination, the JFK thing, more than anything else, because I think needs to be said. I think hair gels from the 80s. Do people still wear hair gel? I'm asking you, Eric, like look who I'm asking here. They wear hair gel. But obviously, look at this is the guy's picture. But so we got that to look at. And what else comes up, Eric?
All kinds of stuff. I mean, Mothman, you're smart enough to finally go in the summer.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go when it's warm in the Mothman.
Which will give
we're also going to cover on the anniversary days. We'll try to do
MLK in April.
MLK, I think, is April 4th.
Probably not. I don't think
manslaughter. There's not a chance in hell of him being charged with manslaughter.
Yeah, maybe some crazy negligent something, but I doubt.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. She's already indicating in that article that.
That was. By the way, that is a theme of it, and yes, thank you very much. Exactly, it was masterful. I read LBJ like your 6-year-old grandson. Your grandson is obviously a prodigy.
A total prodigy. And there's his boat. He's got his own boat.
I know. I mean, there you go. Oh, there you go.
That. Oh, look, Betty Boop's in the house.
Thank you, Betty Boop. And yes, you were right. Locals is the place to go.
I did some research on Betty Boop. She went to a nudist colony for an entire summer and with a bunch of Germans, but that's between me and Betty.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of new Germans in Greece. In case people are looking for new Germans, I guess that's their and nude Brits.
They don't have nude beaches in Germany.
I think they go there for summer vacations during the winter to Greece, and then they go to these nude beaches. And there's British people there, but a lot of Germans, and Albanians who are not nude, by the way. The Albanians are posing as Greeks. This is my what's the name of that show? With the two guys,
Drunk History.
No, Lvov. The Russian guys are talking about.
Oh, the Gaggle?
The Duran or the Gaggle?
Wait, there's the Gaggle and the Duran. The Gaggle has Samueli and Peter Lavelle.
This is our version of that show where we randomly throw out riffs about foreign nations that we couldn't care less about.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, hopefully the war will end shortly, and we'll get back to normal, because they're estimating gas prices here in California maybe $10 by the summer. And
good Lord.
Yeah, I can't pick up everybody at the airport if that's going to be the case. I'm going to have to get some
sort of. You definitely won't be able to drive a bus.
Right. The bus is far too expensive. But anyway, that frame thing in the back there that you see over my right shoulder, that thing back there is the key to the city of New Orleans by the mayor, Sidney Bartholomew, gave me the key to the city of New Orleans. I don't remember getting the key to the city of New Orleans at the world's largest toga party with Otis Day and the Knights, who I claimed raised me as a child, took me under their wing. And all I just remember Otis saying, "That boy is freaking crazy." And with that, that's going to help sell the story for next week on the world's largest toga party.
All right, so
we'll get it. We'll start at Lampoon, and then we'll end up in New Orleans.
Until then,
yeah.
See you all next week.